Hey guys, so do you want to know what is the key secret to have the world be at your feet? I'm gonna go and tell you guys something that I have thought of for a very long time in my life, and I refuse to do anything about it. And I want you guys to listen to my words and think about it when you're in bed. Because when you are thinking about whatever someone has said or whatever thoughts that are in your mind, you're gonna dream about it, and your world is going to be whatever those thoughts were that nighttime. It's going to be throughout your entire day. And it's going to shape your entire way of how your day is going to be. And then it becomes weeks. And then it becomes months. And then becomes years. And you think to yourself, that is my reality, right? Usually that's kind of how it goes. So it all begins based on what's in your mind and then what you're going to dream. So I want to tell you guys something about the key to have the world at your feet, and what I thought I had an inkling of years back. I believe when I was, I think it was like 10, 12 years old, that I had this thought, but I wouldn't do anything about it. And a lot of barriers that was in my mind. So I knew, I've seen so many videos, let me tell you guys, about understanding how money works, understanding on self-improvement, understanding on how the world works around me, understanding on why I feel certain things or why I think certain things. And I would go and ponder about this all freaking night. And the things that bothered me, which I have said in my earlier videos about how I was told certain things, I am this, I am that, by your immediate family, and you're going to be thinking about those things, and you become those things when you don't even know it, and you don't even realize it until you get older or someone questions you. So I think usually at the time period when you hit 25 and someone questions you, then you're going to go and see things differently. Now, when you are questioned, a lot of people will take offense by whatever it is that someone said, to stop you in your tracks and think about what you're doing. And I did a video about this, testing people about what their next move is going to be. How you feel right now is going to be what is in the future. And I tested it, and it had so many views on there. And I wanted to see how many people would reach to get them to question in their minds about what they're doing right now. And it worked. And I was seeing the metrics of it. And it was the people that were 25 and over, like who I thought it would be. Because that's when the brain goes and fully is developed, and when it's questioned, then you can go and start seeing things differently. Now, a lot of people I've met where they're way older than 25, and they go and take offense, and they view it as a way of hatred towards you. And that's fine. I don't really care. Just means that you're not really looking in depth enough. And you're gonna still live in your miserable inner world. On the outside, it may look great to others. I have seen so many people that say they're so happy and all that, and on the outside it looks great. It does. They have that nice house, all those possessions. They have a husband or wife. They, go out, and do things. Have a smile on their face. But in depth-wise, no, they're not happy internally. And the ones that you can figure out who those are the ones that get easily angered when being questioned, when you're saying the right words to them. And the question is, what right words? Well, it'll come to you. It just comes to you naturally. You don't even have to go and think about it. It just comes naturally to you. And the people that have found their light will know exactly what to say to get them to question themselves and to go and look inside them about finding that inner peace within them and that happiness internally to the core. And it's not faked. So I knew when I was about 10 or 12 that if you want the world at your feet, you have to be seen. You have to. And what does that mean exactly? To be seen is not by going and talking to everyone and pretending to be something and getting everyone to like you. And then you go and sell something to the masses. And you go and have all the people that you talk to go and buy something. And to some point, yeah, it will work. And you went and generated more. But the thing is that once you go and get all that extra energy, money, you're actually more unhappier, because when you receive more, whatever it is, it could be money, it could be good things, you get more and more unsettled inside, and everything is amplified in your inner world. At least that's what I have seen for a lot of people. They don't know how to deal with it. And so when you find your inner peace and your happiness internally to the core, and you go and start sharing what you've gone through and your growth and showing who you really are, people will see through it. People will see it and will support you. And you use your light, your gifts and talents, and you go and pull people in. And you go and help others. But you have to do it in a genuine way, or else if it's not, then you feel guilt, unsettlingness. That's why a lot of people that I see that make a lot and their inner world's unhappy, because they haven't done the work. They think they have, because they have all this energy, a lot of stuff, nice shiny things, and they're confused. Oh, I made it in life. I have the wife and the nice home and the kids and all this stuff, but internally they're unhappy. And that's why you have to go and Find that inner peace and happiness internally to the core before you go and get that extra energy. And to have, you'll have partial of the world at your feet if you just do your business and you go and talk to people and you pretend that you are happy and all that, and you haven't found your inner peace. Partially, you do have the world at your feet. You do understand how money works. You create business and you pull people in, and you have people find value in whatever it is that you're selling. And if you want the world at your feet, you have to understand that it has to be genuine and it has to be true to what you're doing to create that extra energy. I think that a lot of people don't understand that. And I used to think in my mind a lot of the time that people that have this extra energy, everything, the money, the house, the wife or kids, nice car, going to nice places, traveling all the time. I used to think in my mind that these people are fulfilled. And there are some that are and some are not. And I would ask myself, why? And as a child, when you see this, you think that everyone has, when you see the people that have those things, you think that they're fulfilled. And that's kind of what you strive for. And when you get older, you see the disparity between people that you think have made it, have all those things, and people that have not. And there are a lot of people that have found their inner peace and they're genuinely happy and fulfilled and they have all those things that I said. And then there's also another group of those people that have those things, but their inner world is unhappy, so they keep doing all these things to mess it up. And then eventually all that goes away over time period. Usually that's what happens. At least that's what I have seen. And then there's people where they have found their inner peace and they're happy, genuinely happy, but they don't have those things I mentioned, the house, even have a place at all, or come from broken families, or just that stuff. And they're super happy and they are fulfilled. And then there's other people where they are they're unhappy, unfulfilled, and they're broke and they feel like they have nothing, kind of deal. So there's both sides of the coin here. And I think that is what it is that to be sane, you need to, and have the world at your feet, is to go online, share your story, use your gifts and talents that is meaningful, that is genuine, that is what you connect with. then you will find all the abundance in the world. All the abundance is there. And you are fulfilled and happy. And even when that's taken away, like let's say something, whatever happens, doesn't faze you. And that, you know, all you really need is yourself. And even if anything happens to you, you still have your mind. And you still are fulfilled. So that's what I have thought a lot of, that when I was a child, that I knew I had to go online. I knew it. It was obvious. You have to go online. You have to share your story. You have to know yourself and go and be okay with, you know, being yourself, and willing to go and expose a lot of things about you that normally you wouldn't share. And I think that a lot of people don't know this, or they know that you have to go online and find yourself and willing to show growth and share their gifts and talents, but they don't want to because they're scared. Majority of the time it's fear. That's the number one thing. It's fear is what's stopping you from doing what really makes you happy inside, internally, and finding that inner peace. As long as you have fear, you'll never be happy. You'll never be. That's just a fact. You have to learn what are your fears and overcome it. And that's when you find your peace and your genuine happiness inside. And a lot of people just don't want to. And that's okay. That's them. Okay? And I understand that I went and told myself a lot when I was a kid, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And I would hear those thoughts, those awful thoughts that people said to me, and couldn't seem to understand myself. Why was I in survival mode 24/7? Why was I so angry all the time? I couldn't seem to get it. Why is it that things would trigger me so quickly for no apparent reason? Think about it all day and all night of it, and I was like, I have to figure this out before I go online. Main reason why I didn't go online was mainly because of getting a teacher job, because I know how much that is looked upon. But in my mind, I'm a teacher, and the world is my classroom. That's how I see it. And my thoughts and ideas do matter, and it's going to take time to go and share it with you guys, because I have so many ideas and thoughts of wanting to implement it, of what I have seen. So I was like, I don't know, 10 or 12. And guys, when I was a kid, this may be so weird. I don't know if anyone else has ever said this to themselves, but when I was a kid, I felt so powerless. I felt my light was gone. I thought my heart was black. I couldn't seem to understand it. And, I was angry at where I was placed in life. And so because of that, I would go and tell myself before I went to sleep. This is when I was a kid. I would tell myself, please, God, tell me how to solve world problems. Please, God, tell me. Because I knew that if I could do that, then I would feel powerful. I'd feel like I was valuable, because I felt for a long time I wasn't. I think a lot of us feel that way, and we can't seem to understand it. And I had a lot of dreams. I've always taken my dreams really seriously. And I knew that to solve world issues is by affirmations. And I asked myself, because I already told you guys my dream over and over again, and my inner voice told me I had to go online and share it. I have to. I have to. And many people know this. I think they know this, obviously. There's so many coaches out there that are doing affirmations, waking people up to see we are in the simulation. And I had this theory in mind, because I kind of look at things very differently, I think, than a lot of people. And I asked myself, how can you go and wake people up? How can you do it in a worldwide way? And I know that it's through video. Everybody knows that. YouTube is addictive. People keep clicking it over and over and over again. They're going to keep saying it over and over again. I am this, I am that. And slowly but surely they'll wake up. But they have to seek it out. And there has to be another way to do it. I told myself, there has to be another way. I know it. You have to force people to do it. But how? So I've always been interested in psychology. And I realized that how you can wake people up is by not being upfront, but by being indirect. So I would go in people's homes, and I would go and organize and clean. And I knew when people would look at me, they wouldn't think much of it. I know. Just like this 4'9" Asian person. Whatever. So, it was just like be any other. So I went in, and went and figured out their habits or watch them carefully. And I would put up affirmations in certain places. I would go and put it in front of the mirror. So if they had a certain painting or words on it, I would put it right where the mirror is. So every time they would look at themselves, immediately there was no other choice, but they would just say it and see it. Every time they turned around, you put it in every single mirror. Then what you do is, if you know that they go to their TV all the time, you put it right next to the TV. So you go and do that. And there was no other choice but to go and look at it. And they would say in their heads without even really knowing it. Then you would do it, you put something up, and it's something that brings happiness within. So art. You put it in front of their bed. Because every time when you wake up immediately, it's going to decide on what you're thinking. So I would put up a certain affirmation or something that they created. And I would go and put it right across their bed. So when they went and got up, they would see it immediately. Then I would go and put it next to their pantry. And I would, if they had something of a book or that had an affirmation or some kind of painting or whatever it is, or a picture of them when they were fit, I would put it next to the pantry on purpose to get them to see their light, to get them to see what I see, that they can be that fit person. So on purpose, I would put "I am healthy" right next to it, even though they're not. But instinctively, they would immediately say it in their head over and over and over again. Every single time they would go to their pantry. And every time when you say an affirmation, it hits a dopamine. So they're going to constantly go back over and over and over again. And I knew that. Then I would go and put up certain pictures of them smiling. And I would go and put it next to the mirror, any mirrors that they have. And soon enough, they would go and it would take time. They would start smiling for no reason. They can't seem to understand it. And so I figured this. I would do this in people's homes. And they were hitting their desires and they didn't seem to understand why. It's because they could see themselves in the light that I saw them. And you do it by affirmations. You do it by reminding them of their happy state earlier when they're unhappy. That's what you do. Or you go and put something that they have accomplished and they take pride in. So you put that up and have them look at it constantly. That's what I've learned. And I thought a lot. And it worked on people. And I felt a lot of resistance in my mind when I started business out of it. Because when I first did it, it was a side hustle. And, people didn't really know what I was doing, like what I was doing on purpose. And I would change their habits without them even knowing. They would start working out when they didn't even realize they were doing it till after. And I was like, I'm going to bring this out into the light. This way, this form of organization. And pull people in that are like me, that can see people's patterns. I can go and predict what is the next thing they're going to do. I thought I could do it. And I knew that I would have to be going online and expose myself. And I felt a lot of resistance. And when I was pulling in people without any help, no, at least not the way that from my side hustle way, I felt a lot of stress. And I have figured for a very long time, I swear guys, by the age of 10 or 12, this method of waking people up in their homes, and you target towards the low vibrational people, the lowest, which I think if you start with people that are homeless, not all of them are, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that they can't see themselves in the light because they feel they can't bring in that extra energy, which is money. If you start with them, that's when everyone starts becoming aligned with their path. I see, at least in my mind, of if people are on their track, on their whatever, their alignment, are they headed the right way? So I try my best to help people indirectly, because I used to do it directly when I was younger, and people were not taken the right way, especially when you're questioning them when they're younger, and people weren't seeing my way and or getting angry and hatred towards me. Throughout my life, a lot of the time it's polarity. Either you like me or you don't like me. And so I've learned to do things indirectly to people to help them out. And I learned how powerful this was. So I told myself, I know how powerful this is. What if I see the world as if it's a house? So going to the grocery store is like going to the pantry. Driving is a way of as a house, as in a distraction of some sort, because when you get in the car, you have in mind of where you're going specifically, right? And a lot of the time it's a distraction. In reality, we don't really have to go anywhere. Really don't. A lot of people don't seem to understand this. I was like that all the time, guys. I get it. Having a certain job is another form of distraction, and how would I say this? Like in your home. Yeah, I would say distraction. You're going to a certain shop could be a distraction. It really depends. So I thought to myself, I wonder, how could I go and change this around? And I know that people are addicted to certain things. So, if you put affirmations on things that people are addicted to, and you go and put it around 24/7, and every single time they turn, they see it over and over and over and over again, then they're saying it over and over in their head, and you're forcing it. Psychologically, you're forcing it. And they don't even know. They don't know. And so slowly but surely they'll wake up over time. They're going to get angry and hate you, probably. The ones that aren't willing to look inside them. That's fine. But others, the ones that are open to receive and that they think in depth, then they will wake up and more people will be aligned. At least that is what I see in my mind. And I think that is how you go and have the world at your feet. Figuring out people's addictions and putting affirmations. So every single time they turn around, it's right there. So for an example, let's say, go to the grocery store, right? And there's the shelf full of candy. And right next to it, it has this affirmation. It says, I am healthy. And it shows a healthy person doing whatever exercise. And honestly, I think if AI was involved and it could go and figure the person out, maybe it could go and show them doing whatever exercise that is. And slowly but surely, they'll see something else. Maybe I shouldn't go and get that candy. I am healthy. I am healthy. We know that candy doesn't make you healthy. It's contradicting those words. So they stop buying it. So that's what I see in my brain. To have the world at your feet is that you go online, you share your story, you share growth, you show your light, you share your gifts and talents, and you go and whatever it is, because everyone has different gifts and talents. Mine is to connect with people. I think that is mine. I'm really good at getting to people emotionally and seeing things differently. I think that is my talent. And I'm a very caring person. And I see things differently. And I mean, I see myself as someone that is a sign of hope for people. A lot of people see me as that. And in my mind, I see the future. That if we want alignment and having more and more people fulfilled and happier, and the projection of how humanity should be going, because we are far behind. In my dreams and what I've heard in my head, my higher self, higher being, the creator, is telling me we are not on our path. We are not aligned. We are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And to do that, at least for my gift, I'm supposed to connect and get people to see things differently, and to put out affirmations, and to figure out people's addictions and put the affirmation on, and you have to put it every single place that that person looks around, constantly. You can't just have it here and there. It has to be around the clock. It has to be where every distraction is. That's the key. That's what I have seen, and that's what I've done on a smaller scale in people's homes. So if you go and and you guys can try this yourself, guys. Go put up a painting or a big piece of paper right next to your pantry and say, I am healthy. And then do a picture of you in the state that you were healthy, or you are healthy right now. If you want to lose weight, if you want to go and see yourself in the mirror of the dream body that you want. Because I have done this method on people, and they lost significant amount of weight, and they see themselves in the light that I see them in the mirror. So try to test this theory, guys. Go and put that up. If that is your goal, then you put I am healthy everywhere, all over your place, and see the mind shift. Go put it in the comments and let me know if this helps you out, okay, guys? So that is what I have learned about having the world at your feet. And that is my way of sharing my gift and my talents. I think is to connect and to help people wake up and show them that you can have whatever life that you want, no matter how strange your gift is, and how people that have made fun of you, for being a dreamer. And I want to show people that if you are a dreamer like me, there's nothing wrong with it. It's probably one of the biggest gifts that the Creator could give you, is to be a dreamer. Because if you're a dreamer, I think that you see the future, bringing hope in people's lives. And the other people's gifts and talents, some people are great at math, not me. And you are meant to go and do something with that. And whatever that is. And that is how you have the world at your feet, guys.